Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is Happy Friday. It is the Friday Eve of SummerSlam 2026. And as promised, myself and the very hungover Mancunian Nightmare will be giving you our SummerSlam predictions in this video. We will cover both night one and night two, both what we think the result of the match will be, and if we think anything crazy is going to happen, we will, of course, put that in our prediction as well. But yeah, we'll get straight into it for night one. We've got Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige in a six-woman tag match. Of course, it is a non-title match. Um, and yeah, who do you think takes the dub for this one, Mank?
I think the only thing that makes sense is Fatal Influence to take the win here. I know that it's a non-title match, but they've only just won the belts, and the last thing that you want to do is make your tag champions look weak. I think Fatal Influence going over here sets potential solid groundwork for Paige to come away from the Bellas and go on the singles run that, well, let's be honest, I think we're all expecting her to have. Yeah, I can only see one result here.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Fatal Influence take this. I think that Nikki Bella is going to attack Paige. I think that's what's going to happen. Um, the there's there's going to be that breakup, which allows Paige to move on and have her last like WrestleMania run, which will probably be our last WrestleMania run. In all honesty, but yeah, Fatal Influence take the W here. And yeah, but I think it's going to be because the Bellas portray Paige.
Yeah, I expected that to be how Rhea and Page would lose the tag titles. I expected a Nikki Bella return, and she attacks Page with the sort of heelish "you took my WrestleMania" moment sort of thing. I was actually really surprised that it didn't go down that way.
Yeah, I'm fairly surprised by that as well. Um, yeah, I can't see any other result than Fatal Influence taking the win here. Because if anything, they're just making their leader look weak even. Um, yeah, so you've got them as the tag champs, but then the leader, the one that's getting all the singles opportunities, is losing. So, I think it's about time that they got a win, and at the one of the big four as well, maybe the big five. I don't know what it's called now, but yeah, I think it's time that they got their win, so that they can actually be the force that they were supposed to be, because they looked quite violent, to be honest with you, when they first arrived on the scene. And they're all very good wrestlers. And yeah, let's let them have some dominance. And maybe this could be like a Judgment Day replacement. The Judgment Day is just a mere shadow of what it once was. What we've got else on the card, we've got the Bloodline versus Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa in a six-man tag.
Yeah,
Who do you
this.
think wins?
I mean, before I predict who I think is going to win, I'm just going to come out and say that I really don't like how they're using LA Knight. It seems like they're just putting him into storylines just to get him into something. Um, and I'm a really big LA Knight fan. I want to see this singles push that he just hasn't seemed to have. You had the one title match against Roman in a time period where there was only going to be one winner. Um, Again, I think the only thing that makes sense is for the Usos and Jacob to go over here. Um, their opposing team, it just, I don't know, I can't get behind it. It just feels very thrown together. Like they've just put these three men together for a six-man tag match just to get them on the card somewhere.
I think this is going to play into night two. Um, I think that there's going to be some shenanigans here in this match. Um, I think that the Usos will win. Well, the Bloodline wins, but Jimmy and Jay abandon Jacob. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So picture this. Picture this, right? They're having their match. Yeah, and on the big screen, yeah, there's a black SUV coming in, yeah? Right? And you can't see who the driver is, you can't see who's in the car. And the Usos run out of the ring and run backstage. Yeah? And then Jacob Fatu wins the match by himself. Right? Just absolutely dominates them, right? And just wins the match by himself, gets the win, yeah? And it cuts back to the backstage. And Roman's not there, right? We know Roman's not meant to be there till the next night anyway. So we're wondering who that person is, yeah? And we don't actually hear anything more of that. Yeah, we just see Jacob Fatu looking very, very, very angry that the Usos abandoned them. So that'll lead to the bloodline tension, right? Perhaps the pinfall is on uh like a Royce Keys or an LA Knight with the help of a Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa rejoins the bloodline. I think that might actually happen if what I've just said completely outlandishly happens, then that makes sense, right? Solo screws them, then we've got this car in the back and we don't know who it is, right? And then when we start talking about night two, yeah, I'll tell you the rest of that little prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think I know who you're referring to. I'm not going to say it, but I've got an idea. But yeah, do you know what? I'd be on board with that. I've heard rumours that this particular individual could be appearing at SummerSlam. Um, I'd be on board with it. I'd like it.
And we've got, of course, Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Obviously, SmackDown is still to happen, so there's still time to put a little like stipulation in the match, make it some like no DQ or something like that. But we've got two Europeans going off against each other at SummerSlam. This is Nick Aldis's first match. He was very emotional when he was talking about this with Chris Van Vliet, and he's talking about this. This is his one shot at a run. He doesn't want to mess it up, and he's going up against Gunther, who is more than capable in the ring. He is also more than capable in the ring. Um, I can't imagine this is going to be anything more than a Gunther dominating him. That's what I was sort of thinking. But after I was watching his interview, I'm thinking that we might actually see Nick Aldis wrestle and not just be the underdog character. Um, for me, um, this is a Nick Aldis W.
I'd love to agree with you. And I really, really, really want to see Nick take the win here, especially with hearing about how making his WWE in-ring debut means to him. Um, I can't see it. I can't. Not necessarily anything against Nick, but it's what does it do to Gunther if he takes a loss here? Because you're coming off losing, losing consecutive title matches to then go into wrestling the general manager. And if you take the loss there, how would you then build Gunther back to this dominant heel that I don't know if you've heard this retired Bill Goldberg, retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles. I think the only outcome here that I can see is Gunther taking the win. Not necessarily in a squash match, but
This is why I've specifically said that there's still SmackDown to go, so there's still time to add a stipulation to the match, which can
yeah,
allow
true.
Nick Aldis to win. Um, you know, I don't know, they probably won't let it happen, but have a British Bulldog match, um, but yeah, I think the way that you do that, the way that you protect Gunther in that sense, is shenanigans happen in the match, yeah, or they continue building Nick Aldis the way they have, and because they've been talking about his resumes, NWA titles, his TNA titles, his Japan rest. They've spoke about even companies that are partnered with AEW.
Yeah,
Like
true.
to literally promote Nick Aldis and how accomplished he is as a wrestler. And obviously the WWE know that fans aren't stupid. Fans know who Nick Aldis is. So realistically speaking, somebody who has more world titles than Gunther, there's no shame in Gunther losing to him. No shame.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, I'm still very much of the mindset I can only see Gunther walking away here with the win. Um, Again, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for Nick Aldis to not only win this match, but to go on some sort of a run. Look, am I expecting that he's going to go on a run towards a world title? Absolutely not. But I'd love to see him go on some sort of singles run, maybe go after the United States title or some sort of. I just want to see him have a singles career in WWE. After hearing how much it means to him, before his interview, I would have been more than happy for this to be a one-off appearance. He has the one match and then he goes back to being the SmackDown general manager. But now hearing how much it means to him to actually wrestle inside a WWE ring, I can get on board with that. I really get on board with the emotional element of it, and this is very clearly means a great deal to him. So absolutely give this guy his flowers, give him his singles run.
Yeah, 100%. And then we've got, of course, for the women's world title, Liv Morgan and Io Sky. I, you know, I, Danhausen's a bit busy, so I can't imagine he's going to be on hand to curse Liv Morgan this time. So yeah, I'm going with an Io Sky victory here. It just it doesn't make sense for Io Sky to have beaten Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring to lose to her for the actual title. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I can't see anything other than an Io Sky victory here.
I remember seeing a crowd sign in Ontario, Canada, back in the early 2000s, and it was Edge versus John Cena for the WWE title. Now, I'm going to replicate that sign. If Liv wins, we riot. I think I've made this pretty clear on previous episodes that we've done, but I love the ground that Io Sky walks on. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She goes in the ring. She goes a lot better in the ring than what I expected when she was with the previous stable. What was it called? With Asuka and Kairi Sane?
The Kabuki
Kabuki,
Warriors.
the Kabuki Warriors. That was it. I didn't expect that she was going to be the breakout star, but I'm really happy that she has. And I think what they're doing here, we sort of touched on this in the previous episode, but I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're actually going to start building towards a women's world title unification. Now, obviously, later on, we've got a WWE Women's Championship match, which we'll cover, or sorry, interim title. I think that's completely pointless because we all know that Rhea Ripley is the true WWE Women's Champion. I really think that what they're going to do is they're going to build towards a Rhea versus Io to unify the two belts. And I think this is where you start the groundwork for
I would pay twice to see that. I
it.
would pay twice to see that. Yeah. So, but then we've got Hell in a Cell. We've got Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Where are you going with this one, Mang?
I'm going to go out on a big limb here and say that Obafemi wins. But I think of the whole card over the two nights, I think this is the most predictable match on the card. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still, again, as we sort of alluded to in the previous episode, you can still have Oba take the win here without it necessarily looking anything bad on Brock. I think this now is what we thought WrestleMania was going to be, a sort of
Mm.
passing of the torch. Um, I also think this probably is a bit outlandish. I can see Oba going over in a squash match. I think he absolutely decimates Brock.
So I'm going to agree that Oba wins, but I'm going to completely disagree with the idea of that squash because I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here to say that this match doesn't finish on night one.
But it's a
Uh,
Hell in a
uh,
Cell match. How can you not have it finish?
so Lesnar gets out of the cage with the help of Paul Heyman, locks Obafemi in by himself. Yeah, Obafemi trying to hit the door, rattle the cage, everything like that. Just as he did on Raw for the contract signing. Right, Lesnar leaves. Obafemi calling him a coward, or a bitch, or anything like that. Lesnar's just laughing, right? And then everything's like all of the like the lights come back on. Everyone think, oh, is the match finished? Is this what's happening? And then Lesnar comes down with his tractor, right, and rams it straight into the cage, right? Takes Obafemi away, right? And we don't see anything from there, and it continues in night two, um, with the referees just followed them all night, right? They've been fighting all night in Minneapolis, and yeah, and Obafemi wins. It beats Brock Lesnar in the street.
I mean, look, do I imagine that happening? No. Had something similar happened in WWE before? You right, it has. um, I would love to see the Brock Lesnar tractor. Um, the last time we saw it led to, I can't describe how much aura came off this. Remember when he was stood on the top of the tractor and he threw the
Uh,
microphone at Roman, and Roman just goes, catches it with one hand and just winks at it like, oh my god, that moment was incredible.
yeah, literally aura farming. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we're
Um,
both in agreement here that there's only one winner. There has to only be one winner here.
yeah, absolutely. I have also heard reports as well that Brock Lesnar has been backstage, giving private mentoring to Obafemi.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me so much if we are expecting this to be Brock Lesnar's final run, which I think most people are. It wouldn't surprise me if Brock Lesnar has actually handpicked Obafemi to be the one to pass the torch to, because we all know that he has that creative control. He could go backstage in his final run, and if he wants to wrestle Io Sky for his final match, WWE are going to give him that match. Um, that would be quite funny. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Brock has handpicked Oba to be the one that he passes the torch to. And I can see why. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but like this is a thing because from what I've heard, Brock Lesnar has done this off his own back, privately tutoring Obafemi, to be the big guy, to be the menace, that Brock Lesnar was, and for all due respect, still is. I wouldn't. Do you know what? I don't know if I would just like to even meet Brock Lesnar just in case I get punched. Like, um, but yeah, this is going to be the Brock Lesnar go home match,
Yeah.
the last match. So yeah, this isn't going to be done quick. This is going to be a big deal. Um, and there's no bigger deal than bringing the yellow tractor back into it.
I will say though that I'm expecting me to get quite emotional about this match. Same way that I did with the WrestleMania, the false retirement. I think this is where Brock bows out. And I don't know if this is just about Brock Lesnar or just about more so about the fact that we've had to say goodbye to so many childhood heroes in what feels like a really short space of time. You know, this would be
Yeah,
the third high profile WWE retirement in 12 months. We've had John Cena, we've had AJ Styles. I'm
yeah,
not sure I'm ready to let Brock go.
yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, we were emotional at WrestleMania, but we believed it, and we got suckered. But it. This is wrestling. It's what it does. It's a soap opera. Also, at the same time, it also makes you realize you're getting old. So, uh, that's
I mean, I was trying to
that's what
say
it
that
is.
without coming out and saying it, but you know.
And then we move on to the final match on the card. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship. Punk wins.
I would not like to be a fly on the wall in my house when this match starts because, I mean, again, if the username doesn't give it away, the Mancunian Nightmare, I'm a massive, massive Cody Rhodes fan. Mrs. Nightmare, however, is a massive CM Punk fan. So this one could get could get a bit tense. But I think you're right. I think Punk retains. I think we're at a stage now where Punk almost needs to retain because if you put the belt back on Cody here, he's going to get heat. And not good heat, he's going to get go away heat. I think people are starting to get sick of seeing Cody as the WWE champion. And look, we all know that he's the poster boy, right? We all know that he's what Triple H wants to be the face of the company. That doesn't mean that he
Yeah,
always needs the top title. We've
I
seen
think it's
it
time for a
before.
heel turn.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure if I can see WWE wanting to turn him heel just because of how over he is with the younger crowd. Um, it's again, it's like a marquee John Cena version too.
What they did with
But
Hogan. That's what Hogan was when he turned heel. You know,
yeah,
like let it happen. Let it be the big shock, right? Let people talk about night one of SummerSlam, not just night two. Like do it. If you're gonna do it, bloody do it. Pull the trigger. Give us something fresh. Turn Cody Rhodes heel.
yeah, and look, I'm not saying it would be a bad thing. Although I don't, well, what I was going to say, I don't often watch AEW. I don't watch AEW, but I have seen YouTube clips of his heel work while he was in AEW, and I think he does play a really good heel character. I've also heard whispers of what this match could contain. Um, Apparently, there's a rumor going out there that both AJ Lee and Brandy get involved in this match. Whether I see it happening or not, I don't know. I think if you're going to do it and you're going to do a Cody Rhodes heel turn, then you have to have Brandy be the first one out, and you have AJ come in to make the save. Um, but I wouldn't want that.
I can see this happening. I can see this happening definitely. Um, where Brandy gets involved first, and then AJ comes down to make the save. That makes sense to me.
It does, and again, I could get behind it, but I wouldn't want that to be how a WWE title match in one of the big four goes down. If you're going to do it tomorrow night, maybe do it after the match. Have a clean finish with Punk going over clean, and then you have Brandy coming out and AJ coming out. But I want to see this match just between the two because look, this is a match that they've teased now for what nigh on 2 years, maybe. I think going back to the Rumble before WrestleMania 40. They've been teasing Punk versus Cody. I want to see these two guys go at it because I think they, if done right, these two guys will produce fireworks.
Oh yeah, I expect nothing less than a 5-star match from this. I still think Punk retains.
100%. I think 100% Punk retains here.
And there we go, and that's night one of our predictions done there. There we go, and we'll be on with night two. So we continuing on with night two. We've got Penta versus Chad Gable in what is likely to be one of the best matches of night two. Yeah, this is gonna be bloody brilliant, and I'm really excited for it. This should be the first match on the card. It's really gonna set the tone for the whole night. Um, we've got Penta, who's excellent in the ring. We've got Chad Gable, who's always been excellent and able in the ring. And Chad Gable's gonna win. That's where I'm at. Chad wins this match.
I, I think there's the potential here for this not only to be the match of night two, but the match of the entire card. You've got undescribable amounts of ability here in this match. Penta, possibly the best luchador that I've seen since Rey Mysterio. I'm not going to say better than Rey Mysterio because I think that's a very bold claim, and I also think it's too early to make that claim. But Penta is absolutely incredible in the ring, and then you're going against what I can only describe as the best pound for pound wrestler that WWE have got on their roster. And
Yeah,
we've seen the sort of second coming, if you like, of Chad Gable, the sort of rebirth of him since his run with AAA, and
yeah.
his El Grande Americano days. Really shocked that he was revealed. I never saw that coming.
Yeah, I had no idea.
No, no, absolutely not. Um, but yeah, I would agree with you. I think I see Chad taking the belt here. I think he almost needs to sort of cap his rebirth off, if you will. Um, and I think you could do it in a way where it doesn't portray anything bad on Penta. I think you could actually have Chad Gable taking the belt off him and have Penta coming out of this match looking better than when he went into it.
Yeah, yeah, quite possibly. I mean, Penta's gonna do his thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if Penta goes on to just be wrestling AAA for a bit, and then come back fresh in the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But Chad Gable taking the title is the only thing that really makes sense here. With all of the build that he's had, very excited to see it. One match that I'm sort of 50-50 on whether I'm happy to see it or not. Rick Williams and Baron Corbin. I'm very happy Baron Corbin is back. I think Baron Corbin's an excellent wrestler. I absolutely loved his run as the Raw general manager, by the way. I thought that was fantastic, right? Like he would come out, he would be like, how do you get a crowd to hate you, right? You do everything, yeah. You wear a really shiny gold watch that no one in that stadium can afford, right? Just so that it shines, just so that they'll hate you that bit more. No, it's I love Baron Corbin. I think he's brilliant. I think um, I think Baron Corbin wins here. I think there's going to be some interference from JBL in some way. Um, just because it's JBL. Uh, um, and I don't really know what sort of side it's going to be on, right? But I can't imagine Baron Corbin being a face, right? So I imagine JBL helps Baron Corbin win, and then Baron Corbin gives JBL the end of days.
Yeah, look, you're not the first person that I've seen predict that JBL is going to be involved in this match, and it makes sense. You know, look, they've had that connection before. Um, I'm going to be honest here, and I've got a feeling that people aren't going to like this, but it's just try as I might, I can't seem to get invested in any match that's involving Trick Williams. And I don't understand why, because the guy's a really good wrestler and he plays a really good character.
It's
I'm
because
just
JBL's not involved in every single one of them. That's why.
um, I would hope that Baron Corbin takes the W here. Wouldn't surprise me a lot though to see Trick retain. Um, this for me is very much depending on its placement in the card. This is going to be my refill my drink, go and get a bite to eat kind of match because I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, that's because what's likely to be the next match is, of course, the match that you're very interested in. That would be Danhausen. I believe that you are cursed. That was brilliant. Um, right, so I actually made a bit of a post today to try and get some people's opinions on the fact that Danhausen he's just a win magnet at the end of his feuds, right? He's got his human monies on a pole match.
Speaking of which, I hope people cottoned onto my Danhausen reference in the previous video.
Yeah, human money's on a pole match, right? Why, why am I expecting R-Truth to come and take the money thinking it's money in the bank?
It'd be even better if he attempts to cash it in later in the night. Look, we all know that Danhausen's matches are sort of comedy spots, and
Yeah,
I think that's the whole point. That's what they're
it's a
trying to
crowd
portray him as.
pleaser, but it's
100%.
also not helping Dominic Mysterio, right? Dominic Mysterio is the AAA Mega Champion, yeah? And he's wearing that title on WWE programming, right? I haven't seen Dominic Mysterio win a singles match. Like, if you tell me that he won at the last pay-per-view, I'll probably call you a liar and have to go and check. Like, I genuinely cannot remember the last time I saw Dominic Mysterio win.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think back now. Um, he has took a curse though, hasn't he? So that could be part of why we're now seeing this losing streak.
He
Um,
was the first curse. He was the first curse of Danhausen.
I think, look, if they really wanted to do this, I think this you could use this match as a beginning of the end of the Judgment Day. And I think that's what we need to see because for me now, the Judgment Day has more than ran its course. You know, this is a stable that has been around now for what, 3 years, maybe four?
Longer than that, Edge started it.
Yeah. And obviously you had the original lot where you had Edge, Rhea, Damien, you later had Finn join. And I started to get tired of it before Finn and the rest of them turned on Edge. You've then repackaged them. You've given them almost an entirely new stable, and it's just been rinse and repeat for the last couple of years. And I think the end goal of Judgment Day was to get Dom over. I feel and potentially Liv as well. You've got Liv as the women's world champion, although maybe not at this point if they do things right. Uh, as you said, you've got Dominic as the AAA champion. I think this is the point now where Dom needs to go at it on his own, and I really want to see that. And listen, I'd
Yeah.
be happy. I'd be happy for him to do it as a face. I'd be happy for him to continue doing it as a heel. But get Dom away from the Judgment Day now.
Yeah, I think it is time to do that. Because it's worked. Dominic Mysterio's got
Yeah,
over with the crowd. He's done very good. People have realized just how much he's actually improved on his craft as well for his in-ring ability. He is good. And it would be good to see it. I'd actually like to see him involved in Ray's retirement match, which I don't think is going to be against him. I think Gunther versus Ray at WrestleMania. In the Gunther's going to retire Ray.
see,
Dominic Mysterio comes down,
I would
tries to
hate
help
to
his
see that.
dad. It's a face turn for Dom. Dominic tries to help his dad and ultimately fails.
It's possibly the best way to turn him face. I can agree with that. Um, I just think that the I don't know if this is me trying to book with my head, sorry, my heart over my head. But if you're going to have a Rey Mysterio retirement match, give it to Dom. Let Dom send his dad home.
Yeah, I mean, it both work. To be fair, both results work. Um, but like this is like a WrestleMania Night 2 thing where Dominic's done his thing on Night 1. Yeah, Dominic's won his match on Night 1 and he comes down. This thing happens at Night 2. So I can see that being the
Yeah.
thing because we've done Ray versus Dom. We've done it, you know. Like how much more times can they mention Eddie Guerrero again? Like yeah, they can't do that again. They can't, I wouldn't be invested. I
I
wouldn't
just
be
think
invested.
personally, you could use that match to also turn Dom face. You don't necessarily have to have him come out to make the save for Ray against somebody. You could do it in a very simple manner where Dom goes into the match as a heel. They have a 10, maybe 15-minute match, sort of a back and forth, and you turn him face simply by having Dom take the win, but then he offers his hand to his dad, and they embrace in the ring. You could have him turn face that way. But getting back to obviously the original point, which is the human monies on a pole match, I don't see any other result than Danhausen, unless, like you said, it's a no contest because R-Truth thinks it's the money in the bank and he comes and takes it. And mate, I would be on board with that so much.
I would. I'd absolutely love it. It would be like the highlight of the night.
A
Um,
hundred
I,
percent.
I, I'm gonna go with that. But if I have to be pushed for a winner, I'm gonna go with Danhausen.
Yeah,
And then we move on to Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for the number one contendership of the WWE Undisputed Championship, which is of course the one that either Cody or Punk will be holding. Um, I really don't know. I really don't know.
so
Because Finn Balor, um, is he's been there. He's had them title shots before. With Cody. Sami Zayn, obviously, he's just been there. Um, if I'm gonna go with Sammy.
I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to say Finn. And there's a very particular reason why. So I think obviously we've just recently had Finn break away from the Judgment Day, and obviously he's now gone over to SmackDown. He's now doing his own thing, and I think Finn can feel really hard done by when it comes to the WWE title. Obviously, it was the Universal belt that he won, but then
Yeah,
again we sort of touched on this in the previous episode. He did the one thing that you really don't want to do in WWE when they're finally giving you a shot, and he was human and he got hurt and he's not believably been anywhere near a world title since. Now, I'm expecting. We all know where WrestleMania is next year, so I'm fully anticipating that Sami Zayn wins the next Royal Rumble, and that is where Sami's going to build towards potentially getting the belt back. if that's the direction that they're going in, then I think that the only thing that would make sense here is to have Finn Balor go over and Finn wrestles CM Punk for the title. Because look, we obviously we're predicting this. We don't actually know, but I think there's a sort of collective feeling that Punk is going to retain. I,
Mhm.
I would I would pay money to see Finn Balor versus CM Punk because I think that's a match that
I mean, we've seen
again.
it. We've seen it for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, you know, where Finn was still in the Judgment Day towards the end. It happened in Ireland.
Oh yeah, so we have.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that. um,
He Balor did bring the Prince. He did, Prince Devitt. But obviously, no one was taking the title off CM Punk at the time.
no,
I really
absolutely
thought that
not.
they might have. I really thought that they might have, and that's what they used as a catalyst to kick him out. To crash Judgment Day because he suddenly got a title and Dom gets jealous or something. But yeah, it. But yeah, no one was taking the title off Punk there. That was always building to Punk Roman. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's that's why I really don't know. But I'm gonna go with Sammy. Um, just yeah, I don't know how many times they can push Sammy down during this thing. It doesn't make sense because Finn Balor's came out of absolutely nowhere, right? He's come out of absolutely nowhere to have this, to have been in the 6-man tag to face Sammy. Like, so it feels like it's came off the beaten track. I can't see them pulling a trigger on Finn Balor. Um, but I think you might be right about Sammy in the Royal Rumble or potentially Money in the Bank. Um,
yeah, either or.
but I can't quite imagine Finn Balor actually winning this match. More just because you know WWE have done it, they pulled the trigger on him and then they've never done it again. Yeah, I can't see them doing it now.
I get
Um,
you. And look, this by no means is this a prediction that I would happily go all in on because I can imagine a world where I'm wrong with this one. I can imagine a world where Sami Zayn takes the W here. Um, I think what they've got with this match though is a bit of creative freedom because I think you can safely put the win on either one of the two, and I think people would be happy about it. I think there's people out there that want to see Finn get another push towards a world title. And we've seen over the previous weeks and months that Sami Zayn has got a very big backing. I don't think I've spoken to anybody that dislikes Sami Zayn in terms of his in-ring ability. His character points, maybe, and we've covered that in previous episodes. But yeah, I think
yeah,
they have got the creative freedom here where they could go in either direction, and I think people would be happy with it.
yeah, I think so. What is definitely not a very strange happening that's in the next match being the women's ladder match for the interim women's championship. Now, am I correct in saying that there should be 5 women?
Yes, I think the final entrant is getting decided tonight on SmackDown, and it's Julia. Hold on, because I think I've actually got a page open. Yes, it's Julia versus Lash Legend to determine the fifth entrant in the match on SmackDown tonight.
All right, okay.
But this
Oh,
one,
that's interesting.
this
That's
match for
interesting.
me, it absolutely reeks of TKO because they're crowning an interim champion because Rhea Ripley's hurt. Now, obviously, we've never seen an interim champion in WWE before, whereas it's
Are you
heavily.
sure? What
Um,
about when Punk and Cena were both the WWE champion at the same time?
but that wasn't an interim champion, though, was it? That was they both had a claim to the WWE title. I get why you'd say that they were similar, and they are. It was very, very similar. But in the respect of actually naming it as an interim champion, um, I don't see the point. I can't get on board with this because effectively what you're doing is a number one contenders match, but you're going to give the number one contender a belt for it. I'm just not here for that.
Well, I think Rhea's injuries at work.
Possibly.
I think it's a work. It gives them some time to give Rhea some time off. Um, it also allows us to sort of in a way forget about Rhea. And then we can sort of get excited for the build up of the winner of this match versus Rhea Ripley. Now, if it wasn't the case of that, this was an interim women's championship match. My winner would be Chelsea Green.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
If Rhea was in this match, Chelsea Green's winning this match. It's not going to be Charlotte. Charlotte's now like I don't know, she's the auntie now, you know. um, Jade's not going to win. We spoke about Jade. Tiffany Stratton's the US champion. She's not going to win, right? But the wild card is that Lash Legend match happened tonight on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the winner of that match. So I'm going to go with Blank as the winner.
Yeah. Makes sense. When you break it down like that, it's hard to disagree with. Now, I'm going to be a bit bold and say Chelsea Green because I think, well, you're not crowning a world champion here. Like what I've just said there, you're effectively crowning a number one contender and giving them a belt for doing it. And I think it's a very good way for them to be able to experiment with Chelsea going towards the top title. Is she capable? I think absolutely. Especially after watching season 2 of WWE Unreal. Chelsea, from what I can gather, she's the sort of go-to for creative when you need somebody to take a loss, or she seems like anything that they present her with, she will take. And when you have that, I think eventually you do always get your rewards for it. And this is where I think Chelsea is going to get her rewards. Again, I think there could potentially be an element there of me booking with my heart and not my head. Um,
Yeah, I would definitely be going with like Chelsea Green in the way because they're treating Chelsea Green in the same way they treat Carmella. In a way where eventually Carmella was the champion. She had that passion where where she with the briefcase and stuff, and she had that run with R-Truth. You know, um, yeah, Chelsea Green is a reliable wrestler. She's reliable to do stupid, and she's also reliable to do the magic as well. Um,
You've just given me an idea.
uh, what is it?
Well, you've just mentioned Chelsea Green and R-Truth. Now, when it comes to editing this video, we've got a halfway point. What did Chelsea and R-Truth make on Raw that was daft but over and it stuck around probably longer than it should have done?
Well, enlighten me. I must have missed that bit.
Dance break!
What?
The dance break!
The dance
You,
break?
you
Oh,
must remember that. Halfway through
I
a Raw
don't.
when you'd have see, I'm doubting myself now because was it Chelsea Green that was involved with this? I'm going to have to double check this. But it was you had for a long while R-Truth with a female wrestler.
Carmella.
No, it was Carmella. Sorry, yeah. Um, blooper moment. But yeah, you had the R-Truth Carmella dance break.
Right. Well, now we've got the overstrut. We've got this. We've got the strut break. Yeah.
Oh, get him
And
involved in it.
hell yeah. You know. Do you know what it is? I wouldn't be surprised if, after the SummerSlam's finished, we get the Struthausens. Yeah.
Oh no! Is it bad that now you've said that I really want to see that? Well, I think going back to the match though, this is it's one that could go in multiple different directions, and I think that's the whole point of having a 5 woman match is the fact that it's trying to keep you guessing. But when you break it down logically the way you've done there, like I say, it's very difficult to find an argument against it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, I mean, are you still going with Chelsea?
I'm going to stick with my original prediction, yeah, and say Chelsea Green, just purely because of how good of an opportunity this could potentially be.
Yeah, fair. You're going with Chelsea Green. I'm going with blank, and then we move on to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Still really disappointed that since WWE went over to Netflix, it's still Seth freaking Rollins.
So, who wins here, Mr. Mancunian?
This one I'm really unsure about. Now, I'm expecting Roman to retain, but, and I'm going to give the floor to you in a second because I know exactly, well, I've got a feeling that I know where you're going with this. Um, the reason that I'm saying Roman retains is I'm really unsure. Okay, this is possibly the most uncertain that I've been about a world title match when we've been doing our predictions in the Discord. Um, the only reason that's making me say Roman retains here is I think over the last few weeks they've played too heavy into the hands of Seth saying you've never been able to beat me. And I think they've done that so many times to give Roman that that sort of final achievement of finally being able to best Seth Rollins. Again, I'm not 100% all in with this prediction. I think I could genuinely see either man walk out with the belt here and not be surprised and actually be happy about it. But if someone's going to put a gun to my head, I'm going to say Roman retains.
Yeah, okay. I'm going with Seth Rollins here. I'm going with the Seth victory. Assisted by the Usos, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa. I'm predicting the Bloodline turn on Roman. Or at the very least, it is everyone turns on Roman and Jacob stays with Roman, but some variation of that.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's time. It's like almost putting an end to the Bloodline story whilst they're going to continue it because during this match, right, you're going to go back to this black SUV that I mentioned, and of course, the Rock is going to get out of the passenger side, I will say, and everyone's going to go crazy. Yeah, it's the Rock. He's back. Yeah, and he tells the Usos, he tells the Bloodline to get out there and do what's needed, and the Usos and the betray Roman helped Seth win, and then after the victory, we're cut back to the backstage where they're all there celebrating, and the other door opens and Rikishi comes out,
Ah.
and then because he's got 3 of his sons in the bloodline there, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay,
Yeah.
Rikishi says, "I did it for the Rock. I did it for the people."
Brilliant. So are you sort of using this then as potentially the catalyst to finally pull the trigger on Rock versus Roman?
Yes,
I can see it.
I am.
I can
Rock
really see
versus
that
Roman
happening.
does not need the title involved.
No,
Doesn't
absolutely not.
not need the title.
I still
Seth
think
can finish
that's
his feud with Bron Breakker for the title.
I still think there's an element of that as to why people really rejected the thought of Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. Because, yeah, you're dead
It
right.
didn't.
That match does not need a
It,
world title.
it didn't at the beginning. They didn't at the beginning, right? Um, if you remember, it's only when they started realizing that hang on, Cody's going to relinquish his opportunity here. That's when they rejected it, right? But the second that The Rock was talking about being at the head of the table, yeah, which was going to lead to that, everyone was crazy for it, and then they realized, oh, but hang on a minute, what about Cody?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
it
remember that
wasn't
promo.
until that everyone went crazy, yeah, and then it was only after when Cody said, "I will relinquish my Rumble," that's when everyone went mad.
Yeah, you are right. And he didn't even need to relinquish his title opportunity because you could have just simply had him face Seth. But I think the problem with that would have been that wouldn't have been Cody finishing the story. And it would have almost felt like, because correct me if I'm wrong, the World Heavyweight title hadn't been back for too long leading into WrestleMania 40. I want to say it was definitely sub 12 months. There'd have been an element there of, oh, well, we've just created a belt for Cody to win to finish his story with, and that wouldn't have been anywhere near as impactful.
The as far as no, going into WrestleMania WrestleMania, the world title had not been like a month old. In fact, we hadn't even crowned a winner. As far as I'm aware,
Oh no, there was
because
Seth held the belt because
Seth held the belt, did he?
yeah, because he dropped it to
Yes,
Drew
he did.
on night one,
And we
and
had
Damien
the
cashed in.
Damien Priest. Yep, Damien Priest. Yep. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it. Got it. Um, yeah, he dropped it night two. Dropped it night two. Um, but yeah, no, that works out fine with me. Night one, he was in the tag team match with Cody.
Oh,
Um,
sorry, yeah, you're right, you're right.
yeah. Yes, no, you've just reminded me there. Yes. Um, it 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 would have been a repeat of the year before Cody's return at WrestleMania was against Seth. So
Yeah, yeah. So Cody came back at 38 and faced Seth, and then he lost. He lost against Roman at 39, and then obviously he
yeah,
took the title at 40. But yeah, I think getting back to the point that made us go off on that big tangent there, you're dead right. Roman versus Rock does not need a title. In fact, there's an argument there to say that that match is bigger than a title.
yeah, yeah, it is. And it's the Roman to put the Rock down, what it is, and become that person. Like, and just be Roman Reigns. He does, he do it without the blood. He doesn't need the bloodline. Because he's lost his whole gimmick. He hasn't got, he didn't have the bloodline with him. He didn't have Paul Heyman with him, and now he's got the bloodline back again. Yeah, and with what I'm saying is going to happen, he's going to lose the bloodline again. Like, and to give Roman something new or to wind him down. Like, that's what it is. Have him have him become like the guy that puts over other wrestlers now, because he doesn't need to go over himself anymore.
Yeah, and I think they've sort of hinted towards that in the promos that Seth and Roman have had between themselves. Um, the specific line that really upset me, by the way, because no, 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 no. But when Seth said to Roman, "We're a lot closer to the end than we are at the beginning." Look, he's
Yeah,
right. I don't want to accept that, but he is right. And
yeah,
there's also the element of how long can Roman go for given his health conditions. And look, if he's getting to a point where he can't do it as much as what he used to be able to, if that's what he needs to do, absolutely wind him down. Have him become like what you've just said there. Have him become sort of the Chris Jericho. The
yeah,
big the huge superstar that you use to elevate people from the mid card. I'd
Mhm.
be 100% in with that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, or just don't use them at all. Like, or whatever. But like, have have this be the end of the Bloodline saga. Just let's put an end to it now. Right? It was great when we had it. Right? It was great, and we didn't realize how great it was until we were like what halfway through it, and then when we didn't have it, we've missed it. And then we've got used to not having it, and now we've sort of got it back again. We think it's fantastic, but I think it's time to actually put an end to it now. Um, and you know, if if you do that, then you can start to pull the trigger on Jacob. You can pull the trigger on. Let's let Jimmy Uso have his singles run. There's so much that you can do if you just stop Roman Reigns being the number one. Like in that family, there's so much you can do, and I think it's worth it.
Yeah, and I think you're dead right with how you've just summarised the bloodline there. I think what we've now seen with the return of the bloodline is that certain things are, you better certain things are better remembered than seen again. And I think the bloodline is definitely one of those things. Um, Absolutely, I don't think people realised how good it was until it had already ran its course for a relatively long period. Um,
Yeah,
I actually really liked the way that they programmed the breaking down of the bloodline because they broke the bloodline down and they pushed Jey Uso. Obviously, it also led to Cody finishing his story. The one thing that I'm disappointed about is the fact that since the breakdown of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa's just faded down into the mid card. I think that is a really big missed opportunity. But look, at the end of the day, again, there's a reason why the people that make these decisions are in Stanford, getting paid the big money to make those decisions, and we're sat here talking about
yeah.
it.
I mean, I'm gonna level with you on the Solo thing. I think it's a shame, but also I don't think Solo was anywhere near good enough to elevate himself.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think he was coming off a standpoint of where he was absolutely nothing without Roman. Um, other than the first week after WrestleMania, was I remotely interested,
Yeah.
right? And then they had him be the transitional opponent for Cody, and of course he was going to lose that match, so he'd lost all credibility at that point. The MFT was never going to be anything good. Um, I mean, they were called the Bloodline at that point, and then when Roman came back with Jimmy and Jay and Sammy, they were the original Bloodline, and yeah, and then we found out Bronson Reed was Samoan, um,
I
for
think
War Games,
if we're
like
being
yeah,
honest here, the MFTs, it was like ordering the bloodline from Timu. That's what we got. It was
yeah,
a rehash of something that was nowhere near as good.
yeah. Listen, I think Solo's great. I think he's really funny. He does the funny faces. Like when he's doing his promos, you know, and he his promos themselves, I don't think they're very good, but he is good. Everything else in the promo, and it makes me laugh a little bit, you know. And he sat there, you know, he's doing these daft little faces, he's shaking his body, over the top reactions, like that. I love that. I love that. It's sort of like a panto sort of thing, you know. Like imagine, that you you may as well slap your thigh and stuff like that when you start to laugh at like anything that's over the top. Like, and he does it, and that's why I love it. But yeah, ultimately Roman Reigns takes the L for me here. Seth Rollins has the title. It lets Seth go again. and it lets him lose it, like to the next star or to whoever it is, you never know, it might be Obafemi.
Well, I think you sort of touched on this slightly earlier on, but I think if you have Seth take the title here, you could potentially use that as the catalyst to breathe new life into Seth versus Bron Breakker.
Yeah,
Because
you could do. You could do.
I mean, again, look, we've covered the matches that they had in the previous episodes, and like I say, for me personally, I could watch a SummerSlam night one and night two where every single match was Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. They've got that good of a chemistry. But look, if you keep rehashing it just as a rivalry match, people will get sick of it. You throw
Yeah,
the
they
title
will.
into the mix and it breathes new life in.
Yeah. And that brings, unless there's some sort of surprise Snoop Dogg appearance, that does bring an end to the predictions there. Let us know what you thought, either in the comments section or in the Discord, in that respect. And yeah, let us know how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna end the Judgment Day? Anything like that. But it's definitely been fun, and we've finally done a video where we don't agree with everything that we say.
Yeah, that is a nice change.
But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave us a like as well. Subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, where have you been? And we are the hottest broadcast ever. And I mean, we're bigger than Miz TV, right? But yeah, no, we're not. We're but
Oh,
yeah, that's where we are.
why did you have to say no? We know you were teeing me up then to say, and it's not just us saying that.
Oh man, that was a missed opportunity. But But yeah, that's us. We're closing. We're done.
Thank you for coming and listening to our thoughts and opinions on the latest action within WWE. While you're here, why not drop us a like, give us a comment, and let us know your thoughts and opinions on the latest action. And remember to ring the bell and be notified the next time a video goes live where you can join us at ringside with Team 841.